It's really nice to see you again, by the way.
Not seen each other for ages. Like when we last spoke.
Wait, one sec.
What the fuck are you doing?
Fucking laugh. I'm nearly choking on water. Oh my god, I'm the clown. I'm the egg clown.
Hello, neighbours, I'm Cherry West, the Red Berry Vinegar. Welcome back to another episode of Red Berry Reviews. This week, we're reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race UK Episode 5. Mama, it's Rusical Week, and we are here for the pantos, so I thought I'd dress up very fierce for this occasion. I love a good musical, so I'm very excited to review this. And joining me, we have none other than the Queen of the BBC of Wales. Girl, she has been here literally so many times in Red Berry Reviews. I was like, we need to get her back now that she's been on the TV. Please welcome the one and only Serene sensation. It's Serenity.
Hello, Cherry. How are
Oh my
you?
god, I am very good. You look very Halloweeny and spooky. I love it.
Thank you, and I love your Halloween look as well.
Get fucked. But yes, how are you? Are you excited that it's Rusical Week?
Really been loving this season so far. All the challenges, the girls have been slaying it. So yeah, I'm really excited for this week.
Love that. Well, let's go straight into the episode. So the first mini challenge was a reading challenge. I was like, I didn't know who was going to win, but then Kate Butch smashed it out of the park. How do you think you would have done on a reading challenge on Drag Race?
Okay, so I like to think I'm better at reading when I don't plan it.
Okay.
So you never know how it's gonna go. I think in the moment I could slay it. But I'm quite a shady little thing when I want to be. So who knows? Who knows?
Well, yes, Kate Butch won the challenge, which means she got to pick the roles for the Rusical. Now, before we get into the actual Rusical, what role would you want?
Oh my goodness. I think I'd like to, do something out of my comfort zone. Maybe a mixture of dancing and singing.
I think you'd be like the really good cow, like the one at the back of the cow. I think you'd suit that.
Oh, thanks, honey. You too.
No, I was saying that last night. I was like, I think I'd want to be the cow because, like, obviously Ginger really killed it, and it's like the only time you get to shine, if that makes sense. And I feel like you could literally go anywhere with a cow. Do you know what I mean? So I think I'd probably want that.
Yeah. I also think I would honestly prefer sort of like a smaller part because I think
Yeah.
when I do come on that stage, it's going to go down. Do you know what I
I think
mean?
you would have been a good villain. Like, I get that vibe. Do you know what I mean?
Especially with this look today.
Yeah. But yes, so the assigned roles, Tamara and Caramel got the two dancing roles. I think they fit that very perfectly. Ginger Johnson got the back of the cow. Kate Butch got the narrator. Vicky got Dick, the girlfriend of Dick. Michael Mooney got Dick, and all that. Like, yeah, everyone got a part. Let's just go with that. Now, who do you think really shone in the musical?
Straight off the bat, Ginger
Oh,
slayed.
yeah, definitely.
Absolutely slayed. Um, what's that other one's name again?
Behave.
The singing one, the one with a really good voice.
Vicky.
Vicky, her voice is incredible. She slayed it. Michael slayed it. All of them slayed it. It was a really good challenge
Yeah.
overall. Loved the dancing. Tamara especially really killed that, like the
Yeah, that was.
choreography.
I think, like, obviously, this was one of the best musicals in Drag Race UK history or Drag Race history. Like, they literally said it on the main stage, and I was like, wow, like this. It was so cool to see like RuPaul react to a panel. It was hilarious.
I think it's very hit or miss with the UK
Yeah,
for the musicals. Some have been questionable, but some have been amazing. But I agree with you. Like this one, yeah, definitely up there.
yeah. I think Kate Butch like was so good, but I feel like just because Ginger like just done a little bit more, I feel like that's why Ginger won this week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Can we also just talk about the set on the stage for this panel? I was like, this is camp as fuck. I was obsessed. I think like that's one of my favorite challenges I've seen in Drag Race UK, and I really want to do it.
It was a gag. It was a gag. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, they've really pulled out all the stops. It just added to the performance as a whole, I think. I don't think if they didn't have sort of like the props and the background
Yeah.
things, I just don't think it would have made it what it was.
I think Dee Dee, like, obviously she said she'd never seen a panto before, and I was actually kind of gagged. I was like, ah. And she picked the main role in a pantomime. So I think, considering that she's not actually seen what a dame is, I think she's actually kind of like slayed it, and she kind of made it work.
I think she slayed it too. So I'm not really sure what the judges meant entirely. So no, I think she slayed it too. I think she really fit that role.
Anyway, moving on to this week's runway category is Mirror. Mirror. I decided to put some diamonds on for the mirror, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna give nothing.
Yes, like what would you have done for this runway, Cherry?
Probably like mirror, mirror on the wall. I was expecting someone to do that.
You know what? I was literally going to say that, right? So I would have probably gone down like the Snow White route,
Yeah.
like the evil queen from Snow White. I think it, might have been a bit literal, but like I definitely would have gone down that route.
Anyway, first up to the runway category is Mirror Mirror, and we have Vickyvious. She's giving us this little motorbike vibe. She's giving us Vroom Vroom by Charlie XCX. I kind of like this. I don't like the big massive like hips. I don't really understand what that was about. But
I hated that big hip thing, It was such a shame. It was such a shame because overall the look was beautiful. I loved the colours, the blue sort of silver vibe. But that big hump that she had going on, I just didn't understand it, if I'm honest.
Her, as I said in the musical, was very camp. She was very out there, and I think she played I think that role kind of worked for her in a way. But this look, I quite like the way the material of the mirrors are made, but I just don't like the big massive hip. But everything else I really like, and I wouldn't change, in my opinion. Moving on to our next queen category is Mirror Mirror, and it's Tamara Thomas. Now she is giving us this silver moment. I think it was more it was very chromatica vibes, if that. Did you get that?
I agree with you, and I loved it. It gave very much like Crystal Versace and for her was it UK Drag Con look?
I thought that, yeah, it did actually.
And she always pulls off a look, and the way she had her hair sculpted, it was just yeah, I loved it.
Oh my god, Tamara's wig. I really like that. When I seen it closer and untucked, I was like, oh, I kind of want that for myself. Imagine me wearing that. That'd be quite cute. That'd be quite funny.
That would be fierce.
Yeah. But in the musical, she really killed it. I was blown away by how good she was. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything less, but I was just like, oh wow, you better work. What do you think?
She makes dancing look so easy.
Oh, literally.
Coming from a little dancer background myself, it's hard. It's hard, especially singing and dancing at the same time. And you couldn't tell that, that she was out of breath or anything like that. So yeah, completely, loved it.
Period. Moving on to our next queen, we have Michaela. She is giving us this massive, constructed mirror look. I thought this was very fierce, very Michael. And in the musical, she plays Dick. I think it was a rip-off version of Dick Whittington or something. But she slayed. I really liked this. She was very fierce. In this look, her makeup looked very fierce. It looked gorgeous, and I loved the way the mirrors were coming up to the shoulder. And I think this was a very strong week for her.
So I really loved this look. I agree with you when you said, this was a really strong week for her. I knew she was going to kill it in the musical.
Oh yeah.
Musical. Yeah, so I think both the look and her performance, I think she deserved her placement, definitely.
Period. Well, moving on to our next queen, we have Kate Bush. Now, Kate Bush absolutely killed this musical. I was obsessed. She literally narrated the whole thing, and I think it was a smart decision for her to show the judges what she can really do. And obviously next week is Snatch Game, so this is going to be next week's her week. She is going to kill it, and I'm manifesting it. The category was Mirror Mirror. Now she's serving us from waist up. I thought it was actually really nice. Her blue, her pink makeup with the mask, I thought it was really fierce. I loved the wig, and yeah, from waist up I really liked it, but I didn't like the skirt.
I think it was a play on Phantom of the Opera, maybe. I might be wrong, but it could have been, yeah. I agree with you. I love that mask and anything, well, maybe the face. The outfit below, I just don't think it was quite there. The shape wasn't quite there. It could have been with a few tweaks, but yeah, Runway, not so much for me this week, I'm afraid.
Fair enough. And we're moving on to our next queen, we have the fabulous Banky. Now I actually really like this look. It kind of reminded me of something that Danny Beard would wear, if that makes sense. The way it was shaped at the hips. But I thought her makeup as well looked very, very good.
This was probably one of my favourites of the week, runway-wise. She always knows how to bring a look, serve a look. I always look forward to what she's bringing. And she did not disappoint this week.
Unfortunately, in the musical, Banky, the nerves took the best of her, and she was literally so good in the rehearsal, so I was so excited to see what she would bring with the villain, but it's just unfortunately it wasn't as good as we all expected. But like the nerves, obviously, when you're in Drag Race, it's such a pressure cooker. So you can understand like how like it could like. Do you know what I mean?
I think when you're, I don't know, up against so many big characters in a musical, I think you've just got to really go big or go home. And unfortunately, maybe she didn't this week.
Yeah, I agree. And moving on to our next queen, we have Caramel. Now, just like Tamara Thomas, they both were in the duet dance routine and they both smashed it. I thought they did really well. In the runway, Caramel was wearing like a bikini type thing, which I think we've seen it before. But she still looked fabulous, but like I was expecting more.
It was very much a bikini type thing. It was. I love the headpiece that she was wearing. Love that. It was very editorial. But
the headpiece was fierce.
I just want, yeah, I just wish I want to see her in a different silhouette, maybe.
But yes, her makeup again looked absolutely flawless. I just wish there was something more than just a bikini with like parts. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Moving on to our second last queen on the runway, we have Delicious. Now, before we go into the runway, let's quickly talk about the musical. Now, she was the Dame. Her makeup was very Dame. I loved it. I don't know how they went from that to that very quickly. Well, obviously they have like a couple like an hour, but like she did like a full face after doing a Dame, which was quite cool. But yes, I feel like Didi could have done more. Like if she watched a Dame, then she would have known what it was like. But she kind of went for like the sex funny approach, which I feel like if she went for like the very camp approach,
I think she did well as well, and well as well. But I think it was kind of one note throughout. Like she gave energy, like she was really, she was really big, really energetic. But I think it was just like the same throughout.
Yeah.
And I think when you're doing a musical, I think it's nice to just change up the sort of energy a little bit, I guess.
Although Delicious's runway, I thought it was very good. The wig was so cool with the big massive like neck piece. I thought it was really nice. Again, with Kate Butch's, I didn't like the skirt that Didi wore. But from waist up again, I thought it was gorgeous. And can we quickly talk about how good she was in the lip sync? Like that, she better work.
Her runway, I just loved. I loved the story behind it. Bloody Mary vibes with the mirror is really clever. Yeah. With the mirrors behind her, that was my favorite part. The mirrors, like and you could see like the reflections of her face was amazing. I actually really liked the gown, the dress which she was wearing. It was like very Victorian.
I did like it, but it was like just shredded parts that it looked like, but it still looked fierce. Like I liked how big it was. Moving on to our last queen, we have the winner of this week's challenge. It's Ginger Johnson. She looked gorgeous.
She looked really gorgeous. Her runway, it kills me. It's just the fact she walked down with her hands.
Well, this is the first week that it feels like she didn't just go in her cupboard and go, oh, well, this runway works. It does feel like it kind of matches the theme of Miror. Obviously, it was gold. It was different, but she stood out and she looked fabulous. Like the wig as well. I want it.
Yeah, you can definitely see the difference from her previous runways to this one. I loved it. I would actually wear that. It was like kind of like abstract, kind of different for her. Yeah. So, and the colours on the sides, beautiful. This
week was definitely her week. The cow, the way she was just literally like phenomenal, like out of this world. Like, wow. But yes, she did kill this week and she definitely deserved her win. Unfortunately, Banky went home this week, which I am actually really gutted about. I absolutely love Banky. And I've obviously had her on Red Berry Reviews, so it's very sad to see her go. But she's going to literally kill it, and I'm very excited to see what she does after Drag Race. So I'm wishing you all the luck. Mwah!
Yeah, and I feel like she brought something really fresh to Drag Race, especially this season. She was very different to the others, and I loved her personality. And yeah, she's an icon, and I wish her the best.
Well, Divas, unfortunately, this is the end of this week's episode of Red Berry Reviews, joined by the fabulous Serenity. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I just wanted to say as well, you were just absolutely smashing it with your drag.
Stop! No, so are you.
It's so lovely to see, and just your growth and everything, so keep at it.
Oh my god, stop, you're so sweet. Guys, if you didn't know, me and Serenity competed on an Instagram competition like 2 years ago. And we both won together. And I feel like, obviously I don't usually bring it up, but like I feel like we've both grown so much since we both won.
It's like it's all come full circle, do you know what I mean? Like, we've really just like fought and worked really hard on our craft, and look what we've done.
But yes, where can we find you on all social medias?
If you'd like to follow me, my Instagram is.
If you like to follow me.
No, okay. If you'd like to see more of what I do, my Instagram is Serenity the Drag, and my TikTok is also Serenity the Drag.
Well, Divas, unfortunately that is it for this week's episode of Red Berry Reviews. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, comment below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, if you want to find out who's joining me next week for Snatch Game, follow me on all social medias at Cherry West UK and you'll get to find out who's joining me. Anyway, I will see you all next week. Bye-bye!